Okay, hello YouTube. This is Val, aka Chozo Hunter, and this is really my first official Let's Play, considering before this all I've done is crappy Left 4 Dead videos. And we are doing Sonic Adventure DX, and joining me today is...
Hi there, this is Cici the cat. Maybe you know me from DA as Cici Gonzo 12, and this is actually my first time commentary with my good buddy Val here. And one of the first games I ever grew up with, the one we're basically commentary now, is Sonic Adventure DX, which I grew up as a little kid and how I became a Sonic fan.
Yeah, I think it's like that with a lot of people. I mean, the first time I ever saw it was the game. It wasn't the GameCube one; it was the Dreamcast version. I went over my cousin's, and he had the Dreamcast. He had Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, and that was the first time I had ever seen either of the adventure games, and I just completely fell in love with them. So I ended up getting the GameCube remake.
Yeah, many of my friends are a fan of Sonic, but they grew up with like the Genesis. Like I never got into that. I mostly got into the GameCube era more than anything.
Yeah, well, I never had the chance to play the Genesis games because my first console was a Super Nintendo and then a PlayStation, so I didn't get to play the classic games until I got Sonic Mega Collection for the GameCube as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look at this opening. Like this is how you introduce a new version of Sonic to the world.
You gotta have epic music to everything.
Oh yeah. And the rest of the games in the series follow suit.
Yeah,
Like, no matter how bad the games got, they always at least had some decent music.
that's like the only thing. It's like this maybe have crappy gameplay, or there might be a few minor glitches here and there, but it's all about the music. It makes it more epic. It makes you want to come back and play this game over and over, like at least a few times at least.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of having a good soundtrack, which this game absolutely does, is when it has the right music to the level, it just gets you so much more pumped.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, I'm starting from a completely blank save file, and we're going to be playing through all of the characters, which means I have to play big at the end of it.
Ooh, the real fun part of the story.
Yes, the real thrilling action. So, yeah, I'm playing, obviously if you can't tell from the purple border around it, I'm playing the Steam re-release of this game, which just came out, I think it was last year. Which, yeah, from what I've seen, it's pretty much a perfect recreation of the original GameCube version. The only thing that I don't like is the purple background, like it doesn't have widescreen, which I really don't get because the Sonic Adventure 2 port does. And we get... God, Sonic's dialogue is so 90s in this game.
Yeah, this is like when I first started off when playing Sonic games. Like the animation looks kind of weird. It's like he's like bobbling his mouth like a Tasmanian devil.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. This game really hasn't aged all that well in terms of, like, the animation and stuff, but, like, for the time, it looked amazing.
Yeah, especially just for a
Well,
GameCube.
yeah, like, well, like, for the Dreamcast as well, it was...
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I mean, everyone always touts, like, Crash Bandicoot, and specifically Crash Bandicoot 2 in terms of, like, how good the animation was. Yeah, for some reason, the bullet sound effects didn't play at this point. I don't know why. I love that line.
You kind of like how the cops are like
Acting!
moonwalking too.
I'm acting! But, yeah, so everyone always goes on about Crash Bandicoot 2, how good the facial animation was in that game, and it was really good. This game really doesn't hold up, but I don't know, I don't really hold it against it. I think some of the flaws sort of add to the charm of this game. Because, I mean, it is over 10 years old.
That's very true. It's like this is like way before HD was like invented and stuff like that. Then it really stands out like you're wearing 3D glasses.
Yeah, which I hate that kind of gimmick, by the way.
Yeah. I know, it's like, not all people could stand that kind of gimmick.
So, yeah, the first thing we're doing in the game is having a fight with this creature, Chaos, and it's really, really not a challenge. That's one thing. If I do have one complaint about this game, it is pretty easy for the most part.
Until I get to the real tedious part, the part you can't stand.
Well, that's not difficult. Well, okay, it is difficult, but it's not, like, it's not a difficulty curve, it's just broken. But, yeah, the hardest part of this game for me has always been the control, which I know a lot of people really love the controls, but honestly, in this game, Sonic always felt kind of floaty and slippery to me, which you'll see it later when I'm playing through some of the levels. I keep like especially in like Windy Valley, I'm trying to run through some of the paths, and he keeps like gravitating towards the walls.
Mm.
And when Sonic's running, if he so much as touches anything, he just stops.
I kind of had that same problem when I first played out, especially when I'm looking for most of his power-ups I can't find. I know I remember I failed one part. I think I was doing part of Knuckles' story, and I failed to find his what was it? I don't know. It's something.
What was it? The shovel claw, or the fighting claws, or something like that?
No. It was not the shovel claws. Those were easy. I think it was something to do with it was a underwater breathing device.
Oh, that one.
Oh,
yeah.
the air necklace.
Yeah, from Sonic Adventure 2, I remember that one.
What am I gonna do with you?
I remember I sometimes miss that one just because I can't be bothered. Although it really does pay off at the final story, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always loved that. We sort of missed it. Oh, by the way, suddenly people.
It's like, where the heck did these people come from?
Yeah, like they all have instant transmission apparently. But so yeah, this was the demo. This was the first level any of us ever played of this game, like for the most part, and just again, it might not look like much now, but for the time, I love bouncing off those ropes. For the time, this level looked amazing. I mean, look at these graphics. Just think, like before this, most games were like 16-bit.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, with the Nintendo 64 was the only rival to this thing at the time.
Yeah, because like when I first played this out, like when I saw those graphics, like when you went over that in that loop, it reminds me of something from. Because the only 64 game I ever played was Donkey Kong, and that's like I'm always on an island. You would see these kind of graphics with the textures and everything like that.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. I remember hearing that the reason Sega chose to make Chaos... There, you can see I'm bouncing around a little bit there. The reason Sega chose to make Chaos a water creature was because they looked up... They were trying to decide whether to make Chaos a fire or water creature, and they looked up which one was harder to animate.
Yeah.
And they chose water because water was harder to animate. They wanted to show that the Dreamcast was more powerful by making something that no other system could animate that well. So, yeah, they really... a lot of people knock the Dreamcast, but it really was a good system. Although, this part right there, I don't know how to land on that platform. Every time I hit that thing, I fall off.
I did the same thing. It's like, for some reason, when I grabbed that one up, when I landed back on the beach, it threw me into the ocean.
And of course, a lot of the set pieces in this level are iconic. You know, like they kept the old loop-de-loops from the old game. You have see right there. I hit the wall and just momentum stops. Yeah, it has the iconic scene where he's getting chased from the whale. This game has just left such a big impact on Sonic. This defined what the rest of his 3D career was going to be.
And see, in that part right there, I can never get up top of that cliff there. No matter how hard I try, I lose my own momentum and fall back into the water. I have to go to the slow route.
And I don't know if there's any trick to it. I never really had a problem with that. I don't know what to say.
It's basically on my gameplay. I was using the GameCube controller at this time and using the joystick. It's hard to control that when he's trying to run up on an angle like a ninja.
No, fair enough. And I fall off. Which way, this sort of annoys me. Not the jumping mechanic. I actually really like that. I like how they sort of incorporate Sonic's agility to bounce off walls. It's kind of like an anime character. I like that one. The problem is you're going to see the next 3 levels have jumping platforms. Every single one of them has that Tikal ball where she tells me how to do the jumping.
Darn you,
Okay,
Navi.
I've done it before. I know what I'm doing. Like, Omochao wasn't that repetitive.
Ugh. Oh, Navi was a lot worse with Link, remember?
Hey, listen. Hey, listen. Oh, dude.
Just shut up.
So, yeah, that's the first level, which it really does a good job of setting the stage for the rest of the game. And like, you see a lot of the set pieces in this game that were from the old games, and like that's how you bring them into 3D.
Yeah.
Like, this game really was to Sonic what like Mario 64 was to Mario, what Ocarina of Time was to the Legend of Zelda series, and like what Metroid Prime was to the Metroid series. You know, it was the next step.
And then now we have better games, like, well, somewhat better games that we all know today.
But yeah, that's like games like the better games like with Sonic Colors and Generations, they owe so much to this game for setting that kind of standard. Although that face.
Oh, that part was like he's sticking out his tongue when he got all surprised.
Yeah. What's up? But yeah, I'm not going to pretend this game is perfect. It has a lot of flaws.
Yeah,
but
most,
again, I'm just saying it did sort of set what Sonic was going to be.
Yeah, it's like there's like certain parts. Like I remember, like I said, this was the very first Sonic game I ever played, and I noticed there was like a lot of glitches, and I learned that it's like there's certain cutscenes. Like if you could do it perfectly to break the game, you could pull up a certain glitches during a cutscene.
Okay, I never managed to do that. That again, like not just the glitches, but like some of the dialogue and stuff always kind of bug me. Like right there, Tails just said the fastest way is by train. Also, right there, I'm showing that that's where one of the upgrades is that I'm going to be getting later. And just that over there, you can see the area where we fought Chaos, the city hall. That's now been blocked off. So this is the hub world that we have access to at the moment. This is Station Square, which becomes a staple of the series later, or at least for a little bit. What was I saying? I honestly can't remember what I was saying now. Crap.
Well, you basically said it's like you just show off like one of the power-ups, and now you.
No, before that I've forgotten. I'm sorry. I forgot.
Lost train of thought. Well, basically you just said like Tails says like the fastest way to travel is by train.
Oh yeah, that was it. That always bugged the hell out of me. He says the fastest way is by train to Sonic.
It's like Tails. Who are you're forgetting to talk to here?
It's like we've met before, yes.
It's a giant talking egg.
Talking egg.
Oh, that's his retort. Silence. Like he's almost given up at this point. He's like, just shut up, Sonic.
Whatever you say, Eggman.
That was another thing as well. As weird and like over the top the facial animations for a lot of the characters are, at least they have them. Eggman doesn't.
Yeah, that's what kind of finding me strange is like he's human after all. Like he's got to have like some sort of emotion, animation.
Yeah, like when you see him lift up his head, he has the big. I think he's supposed to have a big grin under his mustache, but all he ever does is like bob his head around when he's laughing or talking.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I can't tell if he's actually human or just a crash test dummy.
Like look at him right there. He looks dead.
No feelings, emotions at all. It's like I don't need emotion and face expressions. Just talk to my machine to do. My machine does all the talking.
Oh my god, it's Metal Sonic again. That's why he looks so lifeless.
Egg Hornet.
So yeah, this is the very first real boss of the game because I don't really consider Chaos a boss. It's a tutorial.
Yeah.
Like it's a ridiculously easy fight, so you can play around with the controls. And that is a stupid way to attack.
It's like that's not even like a name for this machine. An Egg Hornet. He's more like drilling like a mole.
Yeah. I guess the drills are supposed to be like the stingers or something.
Could have fooled me. Just add some like bees wings, and then then that pulls up as a hornet.
But yeah, so as you can see, this boss isn't anything special either. Like that's the thing. None of the bosses in this game are difficult.
I remember I had trouble. I think it was on the last boss, the last part of Eggman.
And yeah, that was me getting cocky, so I got hit. I wanted to get all the rings, I got a little cocky, and yeah, I say that it's an easy boss fight and then get hit, I know.
You're just being a show-off.
I am. Like, wait till we get to the fight with Knuckles.
Oh, that's real fun for
that fight is such a joke. But yeah, like I said, there's a lot of issues with this game, there's a lot to make fun of, but at the end of the day, it was still a good game, and you can make fun of... Oh god, look at Eggman.
What in the world?
You can make fun of a lot. You can make fun of a lot of games from around this period. You got to applaud them for at least trying so hard to do something like this.
That's very true.
I've had there's no transition for the Chaos Emerald going to his hand. It just appears there. He's not even holding it.
No, he's like it's like a 3D effect. It's like it's coming towards you.
The Chaos Emerald is coming out of the screen.
Oh no, isn't that the same monster I saw?
Chaos is dancing right there. That's not an idle animation. He's
No,
dancing.
it's like from my perspective, like from a far distance, it's like he almost blend in with the sky. You could hardly see him.
I do like the little touch. You can see birds in the background.
That's kind of hard to tell. You have to get it like a quick glimpse.
Yeah, but they're still it's that kind of detail that I do like. You know, far better failing by trying to overachieve than failing by not trying at all. But there, see, he's got a big grin, but his mouth isn't moving at all.
It's like, Eggman, move your lips. Oh,
Like, you try talking with a big grin on your face the whole time. It doesn't work.
that's kind of true.
Sonic! We can't let him get away with this. Can we?
Also, like, it looks like Tails is doing squats.
Without more emeralds, the monster can't transform. So, it's up to us to get the
Um,
emeralds before Eggman does, huh?
He's just sort of, he looks like he's cross-eyed.
Yeah.
He's just like, stare intently at the ceiling. So yeah, that's part one of the LP, and we're gonna be next in the next episode. We're gonna be going into Windy Valley, which is, I think it's one of the more popular levels in the game, and it's pretty easy to see why.
It's a whole lot of fun. I remember I played that level like over 20 times.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how I guess they said they took votes, and that's why Speed Highway made it into Generations. But I just wish there had been more levels instead of just one per game.
Yeah, it's like it'd make more fun out of it. I remember playing Windy Valley as like a giant roller coaster, even though I fell off those 20 times.
You play around, you're gonna die a few times. You need to explore. That's the
Yeah.
point.
You can't just speed run through everything. You gotta miss out on something.